Major breakthroughs at Barcelona. The Catalan club is on the verge of finalizing a shock Bosman move for Arsenal midfielder Thomas Partey. A smart deal that could add experience and power to their midfield for free. At the same time, Barça are now just €8 million away from finally returning to La Liga's 1:1 spending rule, unlocking full financial freedom in the transfer market. This could be a turning point in the rebuild under Hansi Flick. Let's break it all down. Barcelona are inching close to signing Thomas Partey in a Bosman move following his departure from Arsenal, with a 2-year deal mooted. According to Fischages, Barcelona are the clear favorites to land Thomas Partey in a Bosman deal ahead of the coming days. The Ghanaian midfielder is finalizing his departure from Arsenal with his contract there expiring today, June 30th. A 2-year deal in Catalonia is being mooted. Mikel Arteta may have tried his best to keep hold of the experienced Thomas Partey, but the Gunners ultimately failed in their objective. The midfielder was always in danger of departing on a Bosman deal as his contract was due to expire this summer, and that seems to be the case. Arsenal's talks with Thomas Partey collapsed earlier this month, and now the midfielder is expected to officially leave the club soon. The Gunners, who signed Partey for €50 million in 2020, have already lined up his replacements, finalizing deals for Christian Nørgaard from Brentford and Martin Zubimendi earlier. Meanwhile, Barcelona are pushing hard to secure Partey's signature on a free transfer, with reports suggesting a 2-year deal is on the table. With talks progressing quickly, Barça are closing in on the experienced Ghanaian as they look to strengthen their midfield under Hansi Flick. The €50 million Arsenal star will have a further year as an option in that 2-year contract with Barcelona, as the Blaugrana are eager to have a player of his style and experience. Barcelona are a youth-heavy side, and someone like the outbound Arsenal midfielder will help them transition to being one of the top sides in the continent. Thomas Partey is a good fit for Barcelona. Not only does the experienced midfielder arrive on a free transfer and help them with his immense experience, Partey also allows Barcelona to be creative in the transfer market. There are some well-documented financial issues at the club, which have seen them struggle to even register players due to their inability to balance the books. The potential arrival of Thomas Partey does allow them to be creative in the market, as they could even think about selling a homegrown player to stay in line with their finances, such as the Arsenal-linked Marc Casado or someone else. This could allow them to bring in the funds that balance their act and operate differently in the market. Barcelona are just €8 million away from regaining full financial flexibility under La Liga's 1:1 spending rule. Are we in the 1:1 rule? No, but it's June 30th, right? I'm very optimistic, said Barcelona's vice president Rafa Yusti earlier today in a media interaction when asked about the club's financial situation. The administrator's words, needless to say, were taken as an optimistic update and painted a clear picture that Barcelona were not far off from returning to the seemingly elusive 1:1 rule. Now, Catalunya Radio brings forth clarity as to where exactly Hansi Flick's men stand on that front and the exact sum that separates them from returning to that rule. A minuscule figure. As relayed by the outlet, it is just a mere sum of €8 million that separates Barcelona from the 1:1 rule. Needless to say, that sum is figuratively insignificant for a club that transacts at the volumes that Barcelona do. A lot of Barcelona's operations in recent weeks have been limited by the club missing out on these precise €8 million, but as stated by Yusti, there is good reason to be optimistic for Barcelona fans. The sale of Pablo Torre to Mallorca in itself is expected to rope in a sum of close to €5 million into Barcelona's coffers, and that sale will likely close in the coming days. Further, the renewal of Frenkie de Jong on better financial terms will also help ease the burden on the FFP front and enable a quick return to the 1:1. Torre's sale and de Jong's extension thus could well be the two keys. Once back in the financial 1:1 rule, Barcelona will be able to spend every euro earned in fees or saved in wages. Once that is achieved, Joan Laporta and company will look to announce the signing of Rooney Bargi, activate the release clause of Nico Williams and pursue vital renewals like that of Eric Garcia. Further, there is word that the club also acknowledge a lack of depth in the fullback departments, and it remains to be seen if anything is done about the same. So there you have it, Cules. Barcelona are playing it smart and making serious moves. A free transfer for Thomas Partey could bring much-needed muscle to midfield, while the club's near return to the 1:1 rule means more big signings could follow. What do you think? Should Barca complete the Partey deal? And who should they go after once the financial restrictions are lifted? Tap like if you're excited for the summer ahead, subscribe for more exclusive Barca updates, and stay tuned, because the Flick era is about to explode. Big transfer developments from Barcelona. The Catalan giants are closing in on the signing of Nico Williams despite last-minute tension caused by a special clause demanded by his agent. And that's not all. An Arsenal superstar is reportedly ready to make the move to Camp Nou, with talks heating up behind the scenes. Stick around as we break down all the latest, the negotiations, the complications, and what it means for Barcelona's future. Let's dive in. Despite recent reports, Barcelona remain confident about finalizing the signing of Nico Williams in the coming days and are preparing to pay his release clause, which stands at approximately €62 million, €58 million plus inflation adjustment, claims Sport. The La Liga champions view this week as crucial and aim to complete the payment before July 9th, the date Athletic Club returns to training. The intention is to avoid a scenario where the player must report back to the Basque club. Tension between Barcelona and Nico's agent. As per the report, Barcelona acknowledged that there has been some tension in recent days between the club's sporting department and Nico Williams' agent, Felix Tinta. Tinta has been seeking guarantees that Nico will be registered with La Liga, something Barcelona has repeatedly assured. The report further states that Tinta might have requested a special clause to be included in the player's contract, similar to one once held by Dani Olmo last summer, which would allow the player to leave for free if not registered. This comes amidst all the noise from Athletic Club, who have been talking with La Liga about Barcelona's financial situation and their ability to register players. However, Barcelona are unwilling to agree to such a clause, particularly after committing to pay the full €62 million release clause. The Catalans have indicated that any necessary guarantees will be addressed through other means. Barcelona consider the release clause matter to be settled, as Nico is fully committed to joining the club and proceeding with the deal. They maintain that all registration guarantees are in place and are now urging both the player and his agent to provide final approval so the release clause payment can be deposited with La Liga. For this to happen, the Blaugrana require a notarized power of attorney from the player, as was the case with Joan Garcia. An agreement on contract length and salary was reached several weeks ago, shortly after Tinta met with Deco at a Barcelona hotel to communicate the player's interest in joining the team. If all proceeds without issue, Nico will sign for 6 seasons until 2031. His annual salary will be between €7 and €8 million, less than what Athletic is offering for a renewal, and also lower than the proposal made by Bayern Munich. Arsenal star ready to complete Barcelona move, report. An Arsenal star is preparing to make the move to Spanish giants Barcelona. Hansi Flick is looking to build on his squad from last season, where he won the La Liga title at the first time of asking, with several areas a priority this summer. There has been a fairly public chase for a new wide attacker, notably Luis Diaz and Nico Williams, with the latter seemingly edging closer to joining, but sights are now set on an first-team star from Arsenal. That seems to be coming in the shape of Thomas Partey. The 32-year-old midfielder is set to leave Arsenal at the end of his contract, as reported by David Orstian, with a move to Spain on the cards. Spanish outlet Fichages have reported that Barcelona are looking for smart ways to improve their squad, and the signing of Partey on a free transfer would represent that. The deal would run for 2 years with the option to extend it a further year, and would see him return to Spain, where he spent 7 years with Atletico Madrid, including 2 loan spells. Barcelona's financial struggles are well documented, and according to the report their new strategy seeks to strengthen its position without making large outlays. It would allow for more room for maneuver in other positions should they be able to wrap up a deal for Partey. In 442's opinion, the move would make sense for all parties, pardon the pun, involved. Arsenal are looking for a more dynamic midfield, and freeing up wages may allow them to attract other targets in the coming weeks and months. For Partey, moving at this stage of his career makes sense, as it may be the last time he is able to make a jump to what is perceived as another top club. And for Barcelona, staying in line financially will be their biggest opponent this summer window, so any way they can do that will be beneficial. So Barcelona fans, it's getting real. Nico Williams' transfer looks closer than ever, even with a twist in the deal, and now an Arsenal ace could join the revolution under Hansi Flick. Will Deco pull it off? Will La Liga approve the clause? And who's the Arsenal star ready to wear the Barca shirt? Hit that like button if you're excited, subscribe for daily transfer news and let us know in the comments. Which signing do you want to see next at Barcelona? This transfer window is just getting started. Stay tuned.